City of Forest Park City Council meeting, number 1420. Today is August 7th. It is now 7 p.m. We are going to start by standing and saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, starting with item number 1 on the agenda, will the clerk please do roll call?
Adams. Present. Brown.
Here.
Clark. Here. Harrison.
Here.
Holt.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Sylvester.
Here. Okay, all council members are present and accounted for. Item number 2 on the agenda is the minutes. Has everyone received the minutes? Are there any changes or adjustments to be made? All right, hearing none. That concludes item number 2. Moving on to item number 3, which is presentations. So we have a presentation today. It's going to be a Business of the Month award to Frisch's. So if you would like to come up here to the podium. Oh. How you doing? Okay, so this is being presented to Frisch's Big Boy on Chase Plaza Drive, and you are Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
All right, this is the manager. So Frisch's has been in Forest Park since 1991, so please give it up for that. All those wonderful years. I was 1 year old when Frisch's came to Forest Park. So Frisch's has 2 locations in Forest Park, so the Chase Plaza and one on Hamilton Avenue. I frequent them both. It is a good gathering place for friends and family, and it hosts wonderful city events. Frisch has been an incredible partner for our city events like Breakfast with Santa, and then also Breakfast with the Easter Bunny. Those always have great turnouts. The kids love them. So on behalf of the City of Forest Park, we want to present you with this plaque to commemorate Business of the Month. So please accept this on our behalf, and thank you. Please keep up the good work in Forest Park.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, speech.
Well, just a couple quick things. We are coming out with Halloween coupons again here pretty soon. So I know they've been gone for a few years, but start looking for those. And we're actually going to get into the community a little bit more with that kind of things like that. So, and also we got specials running, and look in your paper for coupons. We got a thing going on right now. I think it ends tomorrow, but if you stop by, you can get one big boy. You can get a second one for 76 cents. So that's another little thing. And we got buy one, get one free coupons on all kinds of different combos that you can get. Buy one combo, get one free. We also got, at our location, we're testing a new chicken. It's called Original Hot Chicken. It's really good. We actually dip it into a batter and then roll it in cornflakes and cook it. I know people think, what? It's actually really good. But you can get it with different seasonings. I try to talk about that a little bit more because a lot of people don't understand what I'm saying, but you can get like a Korean sauce on it or a hot sauce or a really hot sauce. So, or you can just get it mild. So I just wanted to throw that out there to everybody. All right, thank you. Yeah.
I just want to say that was delicious. I don't even have to see it. But truly, thank you. And you can tell that it runs really deep in the passion in terms of what you do and what you sell. I just want to just take a moment because there are other Frisch's. You know, the one on up there in Liberty closed. The one down in Spring Grove, you know, they got rid of buffet. There's not all Frisch's are the same. And you all have taken considerable measures in order to make sure that it resembles our community, that you do things and partner with the community and the city. All that stuff really matters, and you can tell. Even the decor, the things that you do really matters here. So 20 plus years in Forest Park, we really appreciate it. Great place to have meetings and everything, and so they're not all the same, but we really appreciate you still being with us here at both locations.
Yeah, 30 years. 30 years.
Oh, yes, over 30 years.
Good.
I
Okay.
lived off those coupons with the kids. So.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Love those.
We do appreciate you always partnering with the city on city events, breakfast with Santa, and then breakfast with the Easter Bunny. Those are, a lot really really big resident favorites. So we appreciate you always, signing up to do it first of all and putting up with us. So, all right. So that concludes our Business of the Month award. I'm gonna need a motion to amend the agenda. Is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda and take up at this time item H on the new business, motion to appoint candidates to boards or commissions.
Second.
All right, it has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
No further discussion.
All right, hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to amend?
Adams,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester.
Yes.
All right, motion to amend passes 7-0. All right, so we are amending the agenda to discuss item number H currently. So I need a motion to appoint Councilmember Harrison.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Ms. Robin Shabazz to the Economic Development Commission for the term expiring November 30th, 2026.
Second.
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
No, I'd like to thank Ms. Shabazz for interviewing, and based on her resume and her interview, she's really passionate about the community, so we look forward to having her input in the Economic Development Commission.
Okay. Thank you for that, Councilmember Harrison. All right, will the clerk please call the roll on the motion?
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Yes.
All right, motion to appoint passes 7-0. So, Ms. Shabazz, if you would please come up to the front, we can get you sworn in for this appointment. Okay, if you want to raise your right hand and repeat after me. So, I say I, then you'll state your name. So say I.
Robin Shabazz,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution,
the Charter of the Municipality of Forest Park, Ohio,
the Charter of the Municipality of the City of Forest Park,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially
and impartially
discharge the duties as
discharge the duties as
Economic Development Commissioner.
Economic Development Commissioner.
Congratulations. How you chose to join the commission?
Absolutely, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Well, first of all, I am a second-time resident of Forest Park, so it was so good to me the first time I decided to move back. And since moving back to Forest Park, I have had an opportunity to start a business. And so not only am I a resident, but I'm a business owner. And so I have two vested interests, one as a homeowner and resident, and two as a business owner. And as I began to expand my business and began to become more involved as a resident, I looked around and said, I want to see more business coming in and less money going out of Forest Park, and I want to take part in that. And I think there are lots of things in my past experience that'll allow me to add on to some of the wonderful things that have already been occurring in Forest Park, the changes that have happened, and I want to be a part of that. And I don't want to sit back, and I don't want to complain. I want to be a part of the team that's doing something about it. So that's why I'm here. And thank you for having me.
Ms. Shabazz, will you tell us the name of your business, please?
Yes, my business is the East Ledge Group, and we're a full-service diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility organization.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. We always appreciate when residents step up to make Forest Park a better place. So thank you for taking time out of your busy day. I know as a business owner, entrepreneurship is not for the weak. It certainly is not, but we appreciate you taking that time and that energy and that talent and bringing it to Forest Park to not only make the community better for your family, but for all the families that are here. So thank you. All right. So that concludes that item on the agenda. So moving on to item number 4, which is communications from the public. So this is the time for citizens to comment on matters before council or to ask questions of concern to them. So when recognized, please come forward to the podium, give your name and address, and then state your comments or questions. Council meetings are tape recorded for ease of transcription, but comments are limited to 5 minutes. So at this point in time, if any resident would like to come up and address council about anything that is bothering them or anything on their matter, if you just want to say hello, please come up to the podium. There should be a sign-in sheet up there. So yes, please, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Esther Williams, and I'm a homeowner and resident of Forest Park. I live at 1434 Longacre Drive, which is not very far from the intersection of Waycross and Cary Hill. And at that intersection, we have a very serious problem. That problem being people are flying through the stop signs on Waycross, and it is dangerous. I'm here tonight, and I had told Councilwoman Adams that I would come at some point, but today at approximately 5:25, as I was at that intersection, I saw a driver not even slow down. She had to be going at least 35, 40 miles or more. She did not break her speed at all. And it's a wonder that something didn't happen. So I am here to ask council to investigate this problem. Now, I know that throughout the week, from time to time, there's a police officer who parks his car on Cary Hill near that intersection. But you can't have a police officer there 24/7. We need some kind of measure, some kind of device to slow that traffic down. Someone is going to get seriously hurt or killed. My suggestion, and I'm sure people won't like this, is to put some kind of speed bump, approximately 200, 300 feet before the stop sign, so that these cars will be forced to stop. It happens all the time, and something must be done about it. So that is my request for council to investigate this problem, explore other solutions other than a speed bump, but something needs to happen or someone's going to get killed. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Ms. Williams. Anyone on council want to say anything about that?
Yes, ma'am, and I'm glad you brought that up, because a few months ago, we talked about getting speed bumps, and one of the locations is on Waycross, near that intersection. We don't have a timeline yet, do we, Mr. Mayor?
Not currently, but you said Waycross and Sharon?
We're
Oh, in
right,
Cary-
and
in Cary
that's-
Hill.
That's
Okay.
one of the locations,
That
they
is
talked
one
about
of
the
the
other
locations,
locations
actually.
on Fresno.
Yes, it is.
Right, so it's in the works. Roughly, because I walk that street too, and I see the same things. Hopefully we can get it sooner than later, because what we're proposing are the same type of speed bumps if you see them down in Cincinnati, like on Reading Road, on Clifton Avenue, the temporary rubber ones. But that would make a world of difference, especially with all the new houses going up and whatnot. But there's no reason why people should be driving up and down that quick, like they're on the highway.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, Ms. Williams, first of all, thank you for coming in and even bringing this to council's attention, because we have been discussing this. A few residents have brought this to our attention, and that is one of the places that was brought up for speeding. We have a police chief here too, so we're going to have, continue to have officers posted over there, but we are looking into speed cushions. Speed cushions actually don't interfere. That a lot of speed bumps can cause, when people speed like that, it can cause even more accidents. But cushions, if you have seen the ones on Reading Road, they have slight gaps in them. So emergency vehicles can go straight over them, but it does cause people to slow down drastically. And that is, this is a very timely request, because that's something, that's one of the streets that is a focal point for us. So thank you for bringing that up.
Also, Ms. Williams, as we had spoken a few weeks past, I want to thank you for following up on our discussion and coming to the meeting. And I'd like to publicly just reiterate to our residents that are either watching or sitting in front of us that as a council, we want to hear the concerns. We want to fix and solve the problems, but we need you to bring them to us. And so that is exactly what you've done today. And I do appreciate that. I'm sure all of us on council appreciate that. I often say it's the squeaky wheel that gets the oil. So as a city, collectively, bring those concerns to us so that we'll know. There are things that we are working on already that we recognize and we see, but we can't see everything. So we need the support of the city. So thank you very much today for coming.
All right, is there anyone else who would like to address council? Yeah, please.
Good evening. My name is Shirley Miller, and I am a resident. I live on Lincolnshire. I'm one of Forest Park seniors that goes over to the senior center twice a week. I rented the hall for the 21st of July. The hall has been filthy all year. That floor has not been scrubbed. The garbage doesn't go out every night. Well, Wednesday and Thursday is the only days I'm there. But I check the garbage, and it's not being emptied every night. Like I said, the floors has not been mopped and scrubbed all year, and I do mean all year. Whoever had rented it back here somewhere during the holidays had confettis all over the floor, stuck to the floor. That should have been buffed up. Anyhow, I had to hire a couple of ladies to help me clean for the party for the 21st. Jay complained about, we went in 2 hours early. We had to get in there early in order to clean, to sweep and mop the floor before the guests come, and set up before the guests come. My thing is, I had to pay these people to come in there and help me. We had to get in there early in order to get it cleaned and set up before the guests come at 5. I want my money back. I had to pay them. When I went in that Friday afternoon to help clean with them, I checked the garbage cans first. From when we was there that Thursday. The same paper plates that we had was still in the garbage can. Jay claims that he hired somebody to come in there and clean. They have it on tape. You can see the trash that was the garbage that was on the floor. There's a piece of snack, say. It's placed. I showed it to the city manager. I called him down like 2 or 3 weeks before the 21st and showed him all of this mess down there. I showed him all the cobwebs hanging from the light outside and everything. Okay, well, I guess they took a broom and cleaned that down. But that's all they did. There was 2 or 3 of the seniors that plays cards down there, went into what we call the sewing room, like a week before, and cleaned in there. They cleaned the floor, they cleaned the blinds and the seal, the window seal and everything. This is where we set up the food at. We cannot go in there and eat or serve anyone with all the particles flying around, dust and stuff flying around in there. Those blinds, I don't think those blinds has ever been cleaned down there. I don't think the windows has ever been washed down there. What I'm asking is, we left the tables up. Jay complained about, because we went in 2 hours early to clean and set up. He complained, well, we wasn't supposed to do this. When are we supposed to do it? When the guests come? I know y'all have heard of Juneteenth, and I'm not playing, I want my money back. I had to pay these people to come in there and help, and I want my money back so I can pay them, and I don't think it's right. that you're gonna charge. If I went to a restaurant, you know, what they're gonna say, well, you got to wash your plate first before we can serve you? This is what I'm being told down there. We got to clean up before we can do anything down there. I mean, you need to come in and inspect. You know, I mentioned it to Jay, like maybe a week before the party. He said, yeah. I said, what, don't y'all have a custodian? He said, we're working on it. How long does it take to get somebody in there? You know, I'm talking about all year. You know, since last year, these floors has not been scrubbed. I'm looking at the same mess stuck to the floors down there. And we tried to scrape some of it up without ruining the tile and stuff, you know. But we're not supposed to be doing this. We're seniors down here. We pay to come in here, you know. And I'm not liking it at all. So I'm asking for my money back. He says, well, we'll give you $100 deposit and $100 for the cleanup. That is not satisfactory to me at all. Get me my money.
Well, first, thank you for bringing this to our attention, Ms. Miller, because I do see you down at the senior center utilizing it, and we love when residents come use the senior center and any other facilities that we have available to you. So we appreciate you, you know, being active and staying social and utilizing everything that's available to you. I will say that this is the first time that this is brought to my attention, and this is something that I think that we can discuss with the city manager and assistant city manager, as well as the cleaning schedule of the senior center. I will ask, though, in the future, should you have an event planned, please call the city prior to make sure that facilities will be clean and up to date. We will discuss getting you, well, we'll discuss the portion about the $100 deposit arrangement that you had with Jay, but in the future, we just want you to enjoy the senior center as much as possible. And I know you want, you know, anybody that you come over to your home or anything, you want it to be clean and presentable, and that's our responsibility. So I appreciate you taking initiative. I truly do. However, I will come down there before anything else, and I'll sweep, I'll mop, I'll do whatever you ask me, anything that you ask of me. So as it relates to the amount of money that you have paid, if you can submit an invoice to our assistant city manager, we can discuss that with you. But then anytime that you have any next senior center event, are you with Silver Sneakers or?
I don't come to senior Snickers because I have too many health problems.
Okay, well, any event that you have, if you think that the facilities aren't up to date, I can talk to our janitorial staff, or I can just, you know, I'll be on my hands and knees scrubbing myself. But we, like I said, we appreciate you using the facility, and we appreciate you taking such good care of the facility. In the future, leave the cleaning to us, so we'll take care of that. But we'll discuss a reimbursement with the city manager and assistant city manager in the future.
And also, I just wanted to add, so we strip them every December and then usually around the Jazz Fest. So they were just stripped and waxed this weekend.
This weekend.
Yes, we do it twice a year because it is a task that we have to close the senior center. So yeah, we close the senior center the weekend of the Jazz Festival, so we can do that.
So
And see, that's another thing. Every time they have a meeting of something, they take our days down there. We only down there on Wednesdays and Thursdays. You know, they always take our days to have their meetings down there. They bring in the seniors from the high school over there and have meetings. You know, they told us we couldn't eat. This is right after the pandemic. We couldn't eat in there and play games at the same tables. We had to go in the other room. And all the same time, they brought the seniors in, a bunch of seniors in down there, and had boxes of donuts and stuff all over the place. You know, they don't clean up behind themselves down there.
okay. Yeah, it's a matter of limited facilities that we are actually trying to work on. Like I said, we appreciate you using the facility, but we'll do a better job at coordinating not only the semi-annual cleaning schedule, but then the schedule with any other events in the future.
Right, right. I mean, you know, you take away from us, and we are paying dues to be in there.
And I appreciate every cent.
Okay. Here is a copy, one copy of what I paid to rent the place.
Okay.
I don't have the receipts, because they didn't give me a receipt, but I gave them cash money, the two people that helped me
Okay.
to clean
I'll have our city manager contact you about this. All right, thank you, Ms. Miller.
Thank you, Ms. Miller.
Thank you.
All right, is anyone else? Oh, come on.
Hello, good evening.
Evening.
My name is Brittany Carpenter. I'm actually a longtime resident and Winton Woods alumni, graduated '06. So I've been in the community for a very long time.
Can you put the mic up, please?
Mic up, sorry.
Thank you.
And then this is Miss Ashley.
Hello, Ashley Barrow, I'm resident.
I am actually here today on behalf of the Natty Ayers Youth Basketball League. Me and my fiance started this league in 2020, right after the pandemic lifted. He has been coaching basketball for Forest Park, Winton Woods, for almost it'll be his 7th year going into the winter season. And so our question is, we are looking for help to have places for the kids to be able to practice, have games. We are a all-year-round basketball league, so they play from January to January. He would be here tonight, but he's actually at practice right now with the kids. Dayspring Church was nice enough to let us have one evening out of the week to practice, but with 6th to 9th graders, they need a little bit more to continue to hone their crafts and get ready to play at that next level. We received some help from Jay as far as things go, but the biggest issue is just not having a space. Like right now for summer, they've literally practicing outside at a park just to be able to get practices in. We're trying to do fundraisers to raise money to be able to afford gyms. Like the Healthplex over here at Mercy allows for you to buy a pass for the month, but that's $50 per kid per month. So, I mean, that's a hefty task for parents to ask of them. And I know, I'm not sure if there's any plans for rec, because growing up in Forest Park, I know we used to have rec centers, we had the pool, we had a lot of different things that were here that are no longer here, and then a lot of the school buildings all were tore down. So I'm not sure what that looks like. I've reached out to Mr. Merrill as well, because I know he's the athletic director, and I know him, he was my volleyball coach. So we're just trying to figure out a way to get some help to able to keep these kids going, keep them engaged, you know, not out here causing any ruckus. And he's a very big, adamant guy for making sure they have that integrity and respect on and off the court. So they're not just learning basketball, but he's also teaching them how to be men to go out into this world as they keep growing. So that would be my question. I don't know if you want to add anything else to that.
I'll just give a testimony. So my son, he is at the middle school. He's going to the high school, and he did not make the basketball team. So to try to keep him with his skills and everything like that, we found out that this team did year-round. We got on the team, and it's been just a good example to him as a 14-year-old. But when hearing the stories of the other mothers, kind of talk about how they didn't feel so safe in Central Park, and that this coach has been taking the kids to Fairfield to practice. I just wanted to see if maybe there was a way, I don't know, a safety patrol or something, so that the kids will have playing time. Maybe the high school can open up, but we're having to try to raise money to get these children passes. And like she said, it's $51 per child, so that's $600 a year to go to Fairfield. So we're just trying to figure out if it's a way that we can work together, fundraise, just to get the kids in a safe environment that can continue to play.
Yeah, what was your name again, ma'am?
Fine.
Yes.
Brittany Carpenter.
Okay. Ms. Carpenter, what percentage of the students would you say are Winton Woods students on the team?
All of them.
All of them?
All of them,
Excellent. Have
yes.
you all gone to a school board meeting or contacted the school?
The school board, actually, they were recognized by the school board,
Mm-hmm.
not this past winter, but the winter before. So they know that it's something that we're doing. Like I said, we talk to Jay all the time. He's reached out, but he always says at this time it's no money or it's nothing. He can, you know, he helps as much as he can, but his hands are kind of tied. So we've always kind of been told, well, go to a council meeting and address it there to see if you could get help from higher up and come down.
Now, Ms. Carpenter, we do have a reimbursement funds where if you utilize facilities, we will reimburse you. You fill out an application and we will reimburse you. So that's an option
Okay.
as well. And so, unfortunately, we want more for our children, and we're advocating for a community space so our children can play and be active and socialize. And so it's definitely something that we've had the conversation about, having a common space for our residents.
'Cause I'm like, the only thing we have is the Y, but that's all the way in
Mhm.
Town, so that's kind of a journey.
There's a couple contacts. At the close of this, there's a few contacts that I'll lend that have shared the space for some of the student programs that we put on for this summer. And they're in Forest Park, and that could be helpful with gym space.
But in parallel from your meeting with the school and school board staff, was there any comments or exchange of option of the school facility?
For the school facilities, it's always, there's no one that can be there to unlock it, lock it up, clean it up after we're finished, especially once school is out, like over the summer for sure. And then the other problem, like during the actual school year with all the different school events, with the schools being condensed down, so it's only so many gyms for all the kids. So it's kind of that fight of when we can even get in there. Like even during the winter season, when he coaches for the school, he asks for more time, and it's very hard because he has to compete with all the other teams that, plus you already have the high school and middle school teams on top of all of the Forest Park teams. So like I said, Jay tries to get him as much as he can, but a lot of time his hands are tied. So he's built up good rapport with some of the other coaches to where they'll kind of like allow them to come in and practice while they're practicing or run scrimmages to kind of help each other out. But it's still, you know, we're only getting 1 or 2 days out of the weekend for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. They're not being able to retain as much information. Like you said, a lot of them tried out for the high school and middle school teams, but they were cut because they just, you know, weren't. And the crazy part is all the 7th graders that did make the team were all the ones that came from him and went and tried out. So then he got a kind of new group to kind of go forward with now.
Okay.
What did you want to say? You want to say hi? Say hi. But yeah, we definitely want to continue it on for like we have 6 children ourselves, so it's something we definitely want to continue on and keep working with the children and keeping something for them to stay occupied.
Thank you.
Well, Ms. Barrow, Ms. Carpenter, you know, Brittany, we go way back. So, first of all, I appreciate both you and your husband volunteering to coach, because we are actually in a shortage of coaches right now. So 7 years is just tremendous. And we had this conversation before, but there are resources that we can send to you, and continue to lean on Jay, because he'll have to lean on his relationships with the school. But if you were working with Day Spring Church, I know City Gate Church actually has a gym, and we have been in conversation with them to utilize their gym as well. But this is a part of the conversation that we're having amongst, you know, not only other residents as well, about having a community space, but then more facilities for people to begin to utilize. But I would say once you contact the city, we'll send you a list of other churches who are interested, so you can try to keep practice facilities here. But I would say reach out to City Gate first.
We have.
Okay,
we
good.
actually sat down, had a meeting, went through everything. Citygate wanted to start a whole league with us where we worked.
Yeah.
We ran our league and did a league for their church.
Mhm.
We had 2 or 3 meetings, and then all of a sudden they just stopped responding.
Okay.
I don't know
Well,
what happened.
Yeah, maybe we
then,
can
but
join in on that conversation as well, because they've reached out to us about wanting to be more involved in city events and activities, and they've been a really good partner already. So
Yeah, because we toured the facility, like, seen the gyms, everything.
Yes.
Like, had a whole food, and then he like was calling them, and they just wasn't responding. So we kind of took that as that was our answer. They didn't want to go forward from here.
okay, we'll follow up with Jay, and then we'll make sure that we are in the next conversations that you have with them or any other churches or any other facility as well.
Okay.
But we do appreciate you volunteering, and I know his boys are good too. They've won a lot.
Yeah,
Like,
they
yeah, so-
actually just won the division for the spring league in their age group just literally last week.
Yeah, so-
So, yeah, they stay busy and trying to, so.
So yeah,
Yes, thank
keep up the good work.
Thank
You
you,
know, we
thank you.
appreciate you coaching.
You can't. Come on.
All right. Are there any other residents who would like to speak to council at this time? Yes, ma'am.
a handicapped bar in the small stall in the ladies' room. There's bars, handicap bars in the
Oh,
large
yeah.
one.
Mhm.
But if they're being used, if someone is in the big one, I cannot use that small one because I cannot pull up and down.
Okay.
And I asked him about putting a bar up there. He keeps forgetting. Would you all see to it that a bar is put up there?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Miller.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have, but I don't know if that's included, but that's something that we can
Miller
really
dropped
add.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and close item number 4, communications from the public. We're going to move on to item number 5, reports of standing committees. This is the point of council where it gets a little bit boring. You are welcome to stay, but we're going to start to get into city business. Everything is posted. But if you would like to hear what we're going to vote on today, please stay. We love when people come, but at this point in time, if you want to go home, make dinner or anything like that, we will not be offended, I promise.
As long as they bring it back,
Yeah.
we'll still be here.
All right, so moving on to item number 5, reports from standing committees. We're going to start with Councilmember Adams.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't have anything to report on for the beautification committee at this time, but I do want to share my complete enjoyment of the jazz concert that we had this past weekend. I'm sure all of us have something amazing to say about it, but I thought it was a phenomenal event, and so I was just really proud to be present as a resident of Forest Park.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
All right, and I don't have any work session items for you. Would you like to add any?
Yes, sir. I'd like to revisit the conversation that we had to delay regarding diversity, equity, and inclusion within our commissions. I'd like to have more conversations about that. And in light of the conversations that we've had today, in some respect, really continue having some more conversations about community space and just really what hit home for me just a moment ago with Ms. Burrows and Ms. Carpenter is the fact that the comment was that these kids have something positive to do and they are not getting in trouble, and just as a council really wanting to help nurture that and just begin to have some more conversations, coming up with some plans in an effort to be more preventative as opposed to reactive to the need to have space and partnerships with our community resources.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you for that, Councilmember. Moving on to Councilmember Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't have a formal report at this time, but like Councilwoman Adams, just want to say I had an absolute, marvelous time at the Jazz Fest. It was bigger and better than it's been, and every year we have really, really great turnout, but y'all have outdone yourselves in terms of, the city, all the volunteers, the staff that, they were working night and day. A lot of overtime was put in. I've been to so many festivals, and it is a rarity that you see as many officers out, see as many EMS out. Everybody came out. And no one was going to be hurt. No one was going to not be able to get medical attention, and it was really, really nice. The vendors and everything. I just want to say thank you so much, Forest Park. These are the things that we work on, that we expand so that you can have a great quality of life. There it is. That's what we needed. Great quality of life here. And I want you to know that the things that we're doing and those opportunities for families to get together and you bring your friends and have good food and whatnot, it truly is rivaling our neighbors. These are no small things. These are times where people are using for their families to come every year now and get together and their friends and to continue to build community. So keep coming. We also need more volunteers and more help as things get bigger, so please don't forget that as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that, Councilmember Clark. I don't have any work session items for you. Would you like to add any?
Just the our economic development report.
Okay. All right, moving on to Councilmember Harrison.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Once again, thank you, Mr. Bonds, for being sworn in tonight. We look forward to your input, making our community greater, okay? We recently interviewed 2 more candidates for various positions. We haven't made a decision just yet. But hopefully, by the time we reconvene in September, we'll have a decision on who will fill the vacancies that we have currently. And that is all I have.
All right, thank you for that, council member. Would you like to add any work session items?
Not at this time.
All right. Moving on to First Vice Mayor Holt.
Thank you. I do not have a report, and I do not have any items to add for the work session.
Thank you for that. And moving on to Second Vice Mayor, Dr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say that the event on Saturday was a wonderful, amazing event. It was nice to see our neighbors come out, our residents come out to listen to some jazz and just relax and debrief. And so thank you to our staff for all the hard work and dedication. Also, the quality of life, their next meeting is August the 22nd at 6:30 p.m. in room 3B. They meet every fourth Tuesday of the month. They have some exciting activities planned for our community. For those who are not aware, we received a $200,000 grant to provide community programs and activities. And so we want to make sure our youth as well are able to do what they want to do in our community. And so also at the Jazzy event, I don't know if you got any of those, but there were some bags that were passed around. I love Forest Park, and thank you to our council, clerk of council, Mrs. Bailey, for ordering those for our community. And so I don't know if you have extra, but we're trying to engage the community, and we're trying to, part of that $200,000 grant is to share the narrative, to let people know that Forest Park is a great place to live. And we want our residents to be proud of our community, to speak positive about our community. And so we're really excited to spend that money. And thank you, Interact for Health, for accepting our bid and our vision for our community. And that completes my report.
Thank you for that, Dr. Moore. Do you have any work session items to add?
Yes, I do. The Quality of Life Commission is a new commission here in Forest Park, and we currently have positions for 7 commissioners. Currently, we have 6, but we would like to, at the next work session, when we return in September, is to increase that board to 7 members.
No,
And
it's
so,
already 7.
excuse me?
You want to increase
I'm
it?
sorry, increase to 9.
Oh, 7 to 9, okay. Okay.
Increase from 7 to 9. We have a lot of residents who are interested in that commission, and we want to make sure that we give them opportunity. And so at our next work session, starting the conversation to increase that commission from 7 to 9.
Okay.
Also, can we get an update on the marquee out front and the deadline of when is the expectation that our new marquee will be installed?
Okay.
And then also in the work session, maybe a couple of work sessions ago, by Skyline, there is a retaining wall. And so we want to make sure the aesthetics of our community is represented when people come into our community. That's kind of gateway into our community. And so that wall is in need of repair. And so I did mention that at our last work session. And so I just want to revisit that to ensure that our public work is looking at that.
All right, thank you for that, Dr. Moore. And I think the Quality of Life Commission is a really, really good commission, and the expansion conversation, since we just expanded economic development, expanding that shouldn't be an issue at all. I think that would be a really good idea. All right, and moving on to Councilmember Sylvester.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, just to speak in regards to this year with the City of Forest Park. The city has had some great success with our summer events that have been put on. The staff has done a great job in tasking through those events, and the residents have spoken and made comments that have delivered a point of being pleased and seeing that the city not only expect them to invest in the city, but the city has taken the opportunity to invest in our residents. So we're kind of moving into that last little phase of our summer events with our movie outing and a food truck. I'm sure Andy will speak more detail on that. We just ask that our residents be diligent in their duties as a resident to the city of Forest Park. We always ask for you to have opportunity to come and share your talents and your time. Those things are also needed. So with that, only other comment is that we ask those that happen to go out and vote tomorrow. It's important. So please vote.
Okay, thank you for that, Councilmember Sylvester. And do you have any work session items to add?
Just to piggyback on what has been said today in regards to how the senior center is being managed.
Okay.
We need to be clear with who we have as our company that comes in and does supposedly the work that's involved. I know I got my days gone by in some areas of grandmothers that I grew up with. They have a different definition of clean.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And I think their definition of clean is really one that we need to kind of gear towards. So
Yeah, aspire to. Yeah, absolutely.
surface wipe don't always do it, you know. So I think we need to just be clear what's happening in that arena.
Thank you for that, council member. All right, and that concludes item number 5, which is reports of standing committees. Moving on to item number 6, which is the mayor's report. So I do want to echo the sentiments that have been repeated today. Jazz in the Park was a tremendous success. In the few years that I've been attending, it's never been that packed. I mean, there was people of, every age, every resident from not only Forest Park, but surrounding communities, including Fairfield, Springdale. We thank everybody for coming out. We want to thank our Forest Park Police Department, did an excellent job directing traffic. We want to thank our community partners, such as City Gate Church, for using their shuttle to chauffeur people from different parking locations, thanking the funeral home across the street for allowing us to use their parking. It was estimated that there was over 6,000 people in attendance throughout the day, and I saw people as old as my grandmother. She's turning 93 this year. She had a wonderful time, and there were even teenagers and kids using the new playground facilities. Teenagers loved, being at the food trucks. It was a fantastic event, and it was very community-oriented, very family-friendly, and that's what we're about. That's something that I think that we need to continue to promote more, just our incredible diversity, the fact that we do have good family-friendly, safe events that everyone, no matter their age or their background, can enjoy. Just sharing space with one another in one of our beautiful parks that we've made a number of improvements to, and we're continuing to make improvements to. But I do have to continue to re-emphasize this point that in no other place are you going to see an event like this with that many people from all walks of life enjoying the same moment for completely free. This is an event that has been held by the city for a number of years, I believe over 20 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Not 20. More or less than 5. But Project Outreach, Joe Mallory and his organization.
But I would say probably since '98. I
Yeah,
think.
but the city has supported it.
Yeah,
Yes,
so it's been over a decade.
The city has now taken over it.
Yeah, and the city, foots the bill for it. So it's just an incredible event, and it was just so well attended. So I want to thank all of the residents for coming out. Want to thank the stage crew for actually setting up that stage, the people that we use. Every year they bring that stage out. And then even Forest Park's own Rashad Sylvester, and, the Sounds by the Shad Collective, they did an excellent job. It was actually tremendous. But other than that, that would conclude my report. We have a few other city events coming up, and I'll let our assistant city manager discuss that. But move on to item number 7, which is the city manager's report, and we have Mr. Andy Lewandowski.
Yep. Yeah, so piggyback on what you said, we do have 2 brochures, or 2 flyers that are out on our website. It's a food truck and a family movie night. It's all happening on August 17th. These food truck events have been great. They've been bringing out more and more people each time. And then the movie, we're going to be showing Super Mario. So, I mean, it'll be a good night. Hopefully the weather holds out, but it never rains in Forest Park on these events, so that's what we're going with. And then moving on from that, we have just to give everybody an update, we have an AC issue upstairs and in these hallways. So if you have any commission meetings or whatnot, you probably should better off having them in here, not up in the conference room, because it is really hot up there right now. We're working on it. It's just these things have huge lead times and very expensive. If we have to replace a unit, they got to put a crane on, get a crane. It's a big deal. So we're working on it as quickly as we can. And then I would like to, all council members have an invite on their desk or here that says for a volunteer dinner. We're bringing that back this year. Through COVID, we haven't had one, but now we'll be having that. So for all volunteers, there'll be a volunteer dinner at the senior center. I think it's September 28th. Yeah. So from 6 to 8 p.m. Did you have anything else on that, Takia, that you want to talk? No? Okay. Takia's been kind of heading this up, so it's been great. And then there's another thing I put on your desk, or right in front of you. It's about Park Place. They're running a car show starting the 17th. It's a 3-day event. This has not been approved by the city. We just found out about it on Friday. So a letter went out today talking about being in violation of zoning. We do have a special permit they can fill out, and then we can gauge whether it's valid. But there's a lot of issues in that parking lot, having that many people there. There's security issues. There's all kinds of stuff that have to be sorted out before you can do something like this. So just so you're aware of that. It's Chipper Week this week. Just remind all your neighbors. Harlita, the finance director, wanted me to remind everybody that quarterly tax estimates will be paid by ACH within the next couple of months. Will be an option. So just want to let you know you may see stuff on that while you're on recess. A big thing we just started last week was our newsletter that goes out by email. It's through MailChimp, so we're using. We sent out our very first one. It went out last Thursday. I think that helped with the Jazz Fest, to be honest, because now a lot more people are getting our information a lot quicker, and it's been great. Our marketing consultant told us that they had an open rate of 43%, which is about 10% above the industry standard, so that's very good news. And then more important was the Jazz Fest, and that brings me to talking about it. I've been attending this event for several years myself. I believe this is the most attended Jazz Fest we have had, at least in my years. I dropped off patrons for more than half the night in golf carts, and the parking lots in the school were filled much earlier than they were in prior years. So this was an awesome event. I also just want to give a big thanks to the staff and the volunteers who stepped up big time. From our recreation department of Jay Dennis, Rebecca Brown, Scott Fikowski, and to the numerous other staff members and volunteers. This was such a tremendous event. I can't thank them enough. Weather was great. It seems like it just keeps getting bigger and bigger every year. We're talking already about how we can expand it to hold more crowd if we need it. So, I mean, we've talked about even possibly putting LCD screens up on the stage. That way you can see it from further back. So
We talked about a 2-day.
Yeah.
2-day,
Two
making
days.
it Friday and Saturday as well.
So we're looking at all kinds of different things. We're always taking input on that. I mean, this is our second year of selling alcohol. We sold beer. We had requests for wine. So we're thinking, well, that's a whole different liquor permit and whatnot, and we'll see. But those are just inputs that we're receiving. So, and that concludes my report.
All right, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for our Assistant City Manager? All right, hearing none, we're going to conclude that item and move on to item number 8, which is the other reports. So we're going to start with our Law Director, Mr. John Wyckoff.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I had an opportunity to consult with our city manager, Mr. Jones, about a memorandum of understanding with Magelbear Bazaar LLC regarding their operation under the restricted liquor permits. I also consulted with him regarding an agreement with Manley Burke for specified legal services in the zoning and planning area. I suggested a change to the tax code regarding the terms of imprisonment for failure to file your taxes. I presented that to Harlita Tomlinson, our finance director. That would be the end of my report unless there'd be any questions.
All right, thank you for that, John. Does anyone have any questions for our law director?
If you could just expound on what change.
The tax code?
Yes.
Right now, failure to file is a third-degree misdemeanor that involves the possibility of jail time. We never give jail time. We don't have a jail. We're not going to throw people in jail because they failed to file their taxes. We want them to pay their taxes. It takes up time during tax court to go through the constitutional rights of you're entitled to an attorney or one to be appointed for you. You're entitled to a jury trial. And then they have to sign a waiver. And that just consumes a lot of time that seems to be wasted time when we can move on to other cases. So that was the reasoning behind that suggestion.
Thank you.
Eliminate it, make it a miscellaneous misdemeanor with a fixed fine only.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Wyckoff, I only have one question regarding and it's a resolution that we'll actually be discussing tonight, the contract with Manley Burke. It's over zoning and land use regulations, but then also property maintenance. In your opinion, I don't know how much you can state about their type of services. Is this possibly one of the best or most knowledgeable law firms on zoning regulations and property maintenance and code enforcement?
I mean, they've done that consistently throughout the career of all the partners in that firm and associates. You know, to say they're the best, I haven't judged all of the available legal services.
Right.
But they're a competent law firm in
Okay.
that whole area of property, whether it's zoning, planning.
Okay.
When I was a law director here, just in the beginning, many years ago, Mr. Burke and I were opposing on an issue regarding group homes.
Right.
And the two of us were able to work out an acceptable ordinance
Okay.
regarding group homes. At that time, they were proliferating around the community, and we were trying to get some control. And that was my last direct work with him. But in general, I know the firm, and I know that area is what they specialize in.
Good. Yeah, there are a few attorneys at this firm that I do know personally, but I just wanted it on record that we've heard concerns from residents regarding property maintenance and code violations, and a part of, if this is passed tonight, a part of their responsibility will be to review our own, current civil and criminal fines and regulations regarding that. And I just wanted to make sure that they are up to the task, because we want people to know that code enforcement is something that we take very seriously, and we actually are putting some really good professionals on the job.
Correct.
Okay.
I would agree.
All right, well, thank you for that. All right, and does anyone else have any other questions for our law director? All right, thank you for that, John. Moving on to our other report for our clerk of council, Ms. Takia Bailey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to report that ordinance numbers 36-2023 through 39-2023 and resolutions numbers 33-2023 through 35-2023 were posted as required. And that concludes my report.
All right, thank you for that, Ms. Bailey. Moving on to item number 9, which is unfinished business and general orders, hearing none. Item number 10 on the agenda is new business, and I'm going to need a motion to suspend.
A motion to suspend the rules requiring reading in full on 2 separate days and read ordinance number 36-2023 through 39-2023 by title only. These ordinances were posted 6 days prior to the meeting.
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? All right, hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to suspend?
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes. All right, motion to suspend passes 7-0. Will the clerk please read ordinance number 36-2023 by title only?
Ordinance number 36-2023, an ordinance determining to reduce and recertify special assessments levied for the purpose of constructing certain improvements and declaring an emergency.
Okay, is there a motion, Councilmember Sylvester?
Yes, I motion ordinance number 36-2023.
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
That this ordinance applies to reduce the Forest Park gross annual assessments to the Forest Park net annual assessment to be collected for the 2024 collection year. So I motion for the ordinance 36-2023.
All right, thank you for that, Councilmember Sylvester. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
All right, ordinance number 36-2023 passes 7-0. Moving on to the next one, will the clerk please read ordinance number 37-2023 by title only?
Ordinance number 37-2023, an ordinance adding a new section 30.15 entitled Indigent Burials to the General Provisions section of the Forest Park Code of Ordinances and adopting an indigent burial policy.
All right, thank you for that, Ms. Bailey. Is there a motion, Councilmember Sylvester?
Yes, I motion ordinance number,
This is not a
vote.
that's not a vote.
Oh, we're
It's
not.
just a
Still
first
not a
reading.
vote.
Oh,
that's
this
right.
is the first reading? Okay,
Yeah.
good. So we will not be voting on this one at this time. All right, so thank you for that reading. All right, moving on to ordinance number 38-2023. Will the clerk please read that by title only?
Ordinance number 38-2023, an ordinance amending appropriation for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Forest Park, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023.
Okay. Is there a motion, Councilmember Sylvester?
Yes, I motion for ordinance number 38-2023.
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
That this is an active task with our ordinance to manage the budgeting activities for the city. So with that, I motion for the ordinance 38-2023.
All right, thank you for that, Councilmember. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion?
Holt,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
All right. Ordinance number 38-2023 passes 7-0. This next one, will the clerk please read ordinance number 39-2023 by title only?
Ordinance number 39-2023, an ordinance establishing the City of Forest Park Project Reach Fund.
Okay. Thank you for that, Ms. Bailey. Now, we're not voting on this one, but if Council Member Dr. Moore would like to elaborate just a little bit on our $200,000 grant from Interact from Health, we just want residents to know that not everything is tax dollars. We are actually reaching out to a number of regional partners to secure more funding to get more facilities or even fund projects. So Interact for Health is a wonderful partner, but I can let Dr. Moore handle it if she don't want me to
Okay.
kind of put her on the spot.
Oh, no, you're good. Thank
Okay.
you. So basically, this ordinance is basically determining where the money is going to be housed, and because it needs to be managed somewhere. So this is basically what this ordinance is. It's going from the general fund to a special fund just for the, it's called Project Reach. And so, because we want to reach out to our community to make sure that they know that they are important to us and we value their ideas, we value the services that they expect that we deliver as council members, as citizens, as staff, and just as neighbors, okay? And so this ordinance is just about the transfer, creating a fund, well, a budget line, so the money can be deposited.
All right. Thank you for that, Dr. Moore. And she's being a bit coy, but Dr. Moore actually located the grant and wrote the grant, and then we were recipients of $200,000. This is not taxpayer money, people. I just want people to understand that we are going out, we're going above and beyond. We hear y'all say, oh, property taxes, income taxes. This is grant dollars that we are using to pay for projects that commissions like the Quality of Life Commission will plan and now can have funded. But we're not voting on this ordinance in particular today.
And we definitely wanted to thank Interact for Health. They are our grantor, And so we're just very excited about that partnership. And they saw our vision, and our job is to change the narrative, but we're calling it a shared narrative. So residents, we want you to be proud of our community and let people know that you're proud of our community. And we're going to create a platform for our residents who are proud so they can voice how proud they are to live in the city of Forest Park. And we're 20,189 residents strong, and we're hoping to grow. Well, we need more space,
Yeah,
but
working on
residents are choosing to stay here, and residents are choosing to move here. And so, but it's a collaborative effort, and so we're just excited, and thank you again for Interact for Health.
Well, thank you, Councilwoman Moore. Good job. You always know about the grants and stuff. I just want to publicly say that you are really good at that. So thank you for supporting the city.
All right. I need a motion to suspend. Is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules requiring the reading in full and read resolution numbers 33-2023 through 35-2023 by title only.
All right.
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
That these resolutions were posted 6 days prior to the meeting.
All right. Thank you for that, First Vice Mayor. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to suspend?
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt.
Yes.
A motion to suspend passes 7-0. Will the clerk please read resolution number 33-2023 by title only?
Resolution number 33-2023, a resolution authorizing the city manager to accept and release additional funds from the Buckle Up for Life grant.
Okay, is there a motion, Councilmember Sylvester?
Yes, I motion for resolution number 33-2023.
Second.
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
That this would be a benefit to the city for the Buckle Up for Life. We'll be providing free car seats and car seats educational for our residents, so it's a plus. So I motion for resolution number 33-2023.
Absolutely. Just really quick point. I want to reiterate that this is another grant that the Forest Park Fire Department has applied for in the amount of $15,000 to provide free car seats to residents. Our fire department, under Chief Jones, does above and beyond. We have an incredible emergency response team, but they're going out still finding more grant dollars to provide more city services at a bonus in addition to fighting fires. So I just want people to take note of that this council is going above and beyond at your request, because you deserve these services, and we're going to bring them to you. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Sylvester,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
All right, resolution number 33-2023 passes 7-0. Will the clerk please read resolution number 34-2023?
Resolution number 34-2023, a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Manley Burke LPA to provide legal services and professional consulting.
Thank you for that, Ms. Bailey. So I move to adopt resolution number 34-2023.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly seconded. Just like we discussed earlier, this is a contract between the City of Forest Park and Manley Burke LPA to do legal services regarding our planning and zoning, our property maintenance, our code of ordinances, and a few other legal services for the City of Forest Park. Like I said, the City of Forest Park has heard residents' concerns regarding property maintenance and code enforcement. We actually, considering the nation was going through COVID at the time, had taken a backseat to citing residents for a lot of property maintenance violations. And now, as you know, we're still experiencing COVID, but as residents get back outside and as people are enjoying the summer months, and there are a number of property maintenance violations that do need to be reviewed and enforced, we're hiring a legal services team to look at all our current codes, and then, like I said, our planning and zoning for future projects. But with that, I would urge adoption of this. And will the clerk please call the, the roll on the motion to adopt?
Adams,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester.
Yes.
All right, resolution number 34-2023 passes 7-0. Will the clerk please read resolution number 35-2023 by title only?
Resolution number 35-2023, a resolution authorizing the city manager to amend the contract with Flock Group, Inc. to provide an additional 22 advanced license plate reader system cameras for the city of Forest Park.
Okay. All right, is there a motion, Councilmember Sylvester?
A motion for resolution number 35-2023.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
That this resolution will help and assist our police staff in providing areas of dealing with situations that some of us frown at and some of us may have a hesitation to deal with, but it gives an advantage to the city to deal with real life situations that we witness on news and throughout the media, and it would help our police department tremendously in the work that they're doing. We know that there's some shorthandedness of staff in our police department, not just here but our surrounding cities. So we know that this will bring great support to our city of Forest Park. So I motion for resolution number 35-2023.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? All right, will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
All right, resolution number 35-2023 passes 7-0. Council will actually be going on recess, and we will reconvene September 11th. We typically go on recess in the summer months since we do this every Monday, but we go on recess every year. So I just want residents to know that the next time that we will be convening will be a city work session. That'll be September 11th, and then the following Monday, so I guess that would be September 18th, will be the next city council meeting. Now, is there any other business to come before the body? Is there any other business to come before the body? Is there any other business to come before the body? All right, hearing none, council is adjourned.